najua mzae umekuwa ukifanya job ama msupo umekuwa ukifanya job, lakini lazima mgawane vitu
Kwa hiyo.
and this is my assumption. You guys have decided to go your separate ways. Life has happened. Mistakes have happened. Errors have taken place, which is life. But you probably had a relationship that started somewhere. And even though you're not together right now, you might have kids.
You don't trash all that.
You don't trash all that, you know. That there's a place to be, that those things that you can be able to rescue.
That's right.
Umechikiziki happen.
Sana.
What?
Yeah. I see one of the things I've seen, and this is something that I went through with a buddy of mine. You say, najua tu poa sana. Naona tu vile story inaanza. Kanoma kanaanza kushika. And because of sasa being that space, wanaume, our challenge ni moja. Hatujuangi kuongea. So mrembo yana reach out, yeye anaongea na mabeshte wake katamba. Boys nice unajua ni kangumu. So anasuck it up, but I can pick it up. But sasa also it's hard for a man. Unajua kuna ile una feel hizi pia nikienda sana ataona kwani who are you, do you think you umekuja sana?
Yeah.
But something was pushing me. Hebu ongea na mse. And then nikajiambia tu bro, uko poa?
Yeah.
Jamaa manzi akaniambia nyewe mimi mali niko. It's over.
Wow.
He's suicidal. Ashaamua ni leo anaenda.
Wow.
And before I knew it,
so by the time you're reaching out to him,
ameniambia don't talk, imefika mwisho, what I've sucked it up, ndio madhara nimefanyiwa, a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
And because he was quiet for long, na tears zinaenda wapi? Someone said men's tears go inside. Ya wanawake utoka nje tunawasaidia. Una handkerchief, I normally have handkerchief in this office, and most men who come in this clinic don't use it. But ladies huitumia. So mushanga wanaume where do our tears go? So jamaa yake ilikuwa imeenda ndani. The next thing I knew, ako kwa obituary. Was when I saw that guy in the obituary.
Oh, for really? Took his life?
Yes, took his life.
You didn't even have time to mediate?
No, I saw in the obituary.
Wow, I'm sorry, man.
And I knew this is something that I can't watch again. I'll do all that is in my power, maybe to save just that one life.
Yeah. And you know, Ken, you've been in this space for as long as I can remember, man. You know,
yes.
When you're my forefathers in this space for ministry, and also talking to young people. But and you know, let me talk a little bit about you have this amazing ministry that you've done called PhD, you and your wife.
Preserving human dignity.
Bro. Yes. And you've highlighted about that young man that you unfortunately lost.
That's right.
Because it was too late even by the time you're reaching out to him. And you've been able to work with young people for such a long time. And you've been able to walk with them from high school, you know, to campus, to their dating life, to them getting married.
And wedded them.
That's
right.
You
see
know,
their kids.
Kids see their kids.
Baby one, baby two.
Yeah, but alafu wanavurugana.
Yes, kanakatika.
Man, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, sometimes there are days I just feel like, did I do it right? Kuna mahali, kuna kitu si kusema.
Can you blame yourself?
Yes, the days I did, bro. I was like, mpaka najikumbusha hiyo curriculum. PMC tulisema. Ipata tu, you know, then I call guys and say, what are the issues? And when I get to sit with guys, I discover something which I'm hoping I can correct moving forward, bro. And I began this about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I noticed wasi ukuja premarital, kama washapanga wedding date.
Yeah.
Kala inajulikana scheme, ni machakula. All service provider, wanakuanga set. Hii inakuanga ni ETC. Sasa sisi PMC yetu inakuwa, malizianga kaa tunaenda.
Si ati kukuja kuresolve na kudive deep into the relationship.
Hiyo nakuja kusanitize, malizianga kaa tumeenda.
Ndio useme mazee tulienda PMC.
So atukiza mse, what did you hear? Najua mazee ulikuwa mpango, my boys, watu wanajibamba. So wewe tu you're the superficial top dressing.
Yeah.
Fertilizer ile ya juu. Kameisha.
Yeah.
And I said I need to change this. So I have decided in the marriage garage, which is where we are sitting.
Yeah.
Niliamua mazee ikitu lazima tutaanza what is the dating courting 101. Mmetoka wapi? Mko wapi? Mnaenda wapi? So I take a past, a present, and a futuristic perspective to gauge how deep is this relation. Mnajuana kiaje?
Yeah.
Hizo ma red flags. Can you call someone out? Someone said you are dating an angel until you marry them.
Oh, bro, that's when the dragons come.
Mazee kakishafungana. Ukishafunga hiyo kandoa ndio unamsea anajitoa, unakuta masnoring, unakuta msee mabeshto yake wale anakuambia football is my god. Where you story mazee? Sasa ile Arsenal inacheza, where you are number 4. ama nikiwa na maboys wangu wote. So I meet guys who they are stuck up on some behaviors, habits, and they are not willing to sit ground. So I've decided kwa hii PMC inaitwa garage kwa sababu tunatoa tools zote. Vile nimeona tools zako hapa. Mimi nakuja na tools zangu zote. If you look behind you, nimeleta resources. I have tried to dig in and evaluate, check what are some areas we can make people talk about it, because it's hard for people to also communicate, volunteer information. Africa tunakuwa na kale ka shame based. Msi hata nijua sana.
It's a shame.
But if you're coming to a doctor, nini to a garage na gari yako Moz, uambie make fanya tu service ya juju na 3 months hiyo gari haijapigwa service. Ujampatia nafasi kuenda under the car. Angalie ni nini exactly, so that this car can serve you well. And that's a car that can break down. How much more a relationship? So people enter relationship or marriage kama wajuani. And so I felt
they get into marriage,
they don't know one another. Then you discover,
and you've been dating.
Yes. And you look okay. You know that perfect couple thing? Ikitu lazima ende TV bana. Yetu lazima ndoa yetu. Washaona which producer hiyo wedding ikiisha lazima itaekwa. Watu watajua. Hiyo ndo hatuwezi spend. We cannot suffer in silence. Alafu God to bless. Tetena in silence. Ni showbiz. So people are wedding for showbiz. Very wrong motivations and reasons for wedding. And so when I discovered that, I said, let's go revisit. What is the foundation upon which we are anchoring couples? And then hata mambo ya watoi, expectation. Some people enter marriage with very crazy expectation. Mimi kama ndoa yangu, na kuna msali aliniambia sex ni breakfast, ni lunch, ni dinner. Kaende mimi nitakula vitu, nakula mavitu. Mnafika honeymoon, msana anakuambia mimi ni mgonjwa. I had a couple who alienda honeymoon. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Jamaa anaona vitu kwa view sasa. Haezi kula live. Mtu ni mgonjwa, anamwambia mimi Manuel na mbona huko nisho? Hata jui how a woman is
how the body works.
Biologically, that's right. And msa akamwambia I have a situation sahi utahave kungoja. Jamaa hajai kujua what to wait is. Anytime he wanted,
he got
anapata. Mpaka anaenda kuza kununua. Sasa huyu ni bibi yako, uko naye honeymoon, wewe according to him amelipia services. But hawezi get. Walinishoka kaambia hakuna, akimwambia boys, when I talk about the software of sex, those are the dynamics I talk about. That this body God ameumba na biology yake. Kuna vile ina respond. Wezi lazimisha vitu bro. Lazima ikubali. And there is a conscious journey of developing a friendship and trust. Ndio msia ku invite into that intimate space. I like what Reverend Tom Otieno says about intimacy. He says intimacy is intimacy. Intimacy.
I like that.
INTO-ME-SWE. Na kualika ndani unione. Ni mwaliko.
But how many people, and like you said, you've done this for a long time, Ken. But how many couples are in that space where they're vulnerable to each other in their dating space? Because the problem is when we're dating, we always put our best foot forward.
That's right.
You never show your bad side.
That's the ideal.
Even if you've dated for a guy for 7 years, somehow we still conceal or hide our bad side. But I'm like, it's in that space for dating.
That's what we need to know.
Where you're supposed to show your true self. So someone knows, by the way, if you're getting into this thing with me, this is me. Just know this is who I am.
That's right.
And I know I'm not perfect.
I hope someone is listening to you, Moz. What can you nasema? It's ideal, but people fear to do exactly that.
But why?
You know why? Because of the molding of the society. Wase ubonga vile, mimi niliambia msee akanitoka. Also, there's a lot of fear-based approach to relationship. And people share experiences. Only that people don't get deep. I'm hoping that we can reach a level where as a country, as a nation, this is something I'm doing at the continental level right now. I get a chance to travel different countries. And when I sit young people in the room, I tell them, I begin with the topic of identity. The authentic you. Are you comfortable in your skin? Hiyo bafu kifunga mazi. Nyuma ya makateni zote, hizi malights zikizimwa. Are you okay? Because if you have not been comfortable with yourself, you can't share it. Because you can't give what you don't have.
If you don't know yourself.
That's right.
How do you expect that your partner to know you? It doesn't work.
That's right. So self-awareness. And I entered, thank God, for my training at Daystar. I had to do counseling psychology to complement my theology. Because I discovered as a priest minister, as an Anglican minister, I was doing a lot of wedding, na meet couples, then I'm watching this. Nikajambia, could it be that also hata mimi nafaa pia kukaza, to kaza a few nuts. There are things I need to know more. So I went for personal growth development. Na kwenda kujitighten in my understanding, my awareness, to be broadened in my understanding. And that's when I discovered mambo ya mental wellness is a big contributor right now. Mental wellness is key because a lot of guys are dealing with issues zingine from childhood. Unaona mse ali grew up in an environment, a family whereby there was abuse, but it was never addressed. You have a home that was dysfunctional, but even you didn't know. That was what you thought was normal. Then you start manifesting and projecting easy issues on someone else. Mse mwenye stranger hata juu nashanga boy nini akwanga naye. Swali tu ndogo ni kitu unashotia mse mpaka manebo unajua leo kamenuka. But kumbe mse, that's the habit amekuwa nayo, ameitoa mahali.
Ndivyo amegrow? That's the experience.
So I went into the mental wellness space to understand people from their root, with their root issues. So now in the space I'm in, I bring the psychological aspect. I do CBT.
Clarify CBT tafadhali.
So, whereby cognitive behavior therapy.
Oh, wow.
What is a cognition? Ni vile tunajijua, awareness. Unajua nini about you. So that I have a guided discussion. I do assessment. A few tests. Jifanye tu mtani yako. Personality test. Kuna wasi hata juu mbona anakuanga mzee makelele. The guys when they enter room lazima watu wajue. Lazima atatesa. Akifika mahali, machupa lazima vivunjike, lazima anataka kukisi watu 6. I know a guy who went to places with the wife. The first week of marriage, anakisi kila mrembo bana. Alikuwa beshtangu mamunjo. Manzi anakuja kwa nyumba aongei. Nini mbana? Kwani wewe ni nini mbaya na wewe? Unaheshima. That's my life. Mugusu kila mse. Only that way yako ni special. Special. So uni mse ajijui.
It's like
kuna boundaries.
Kuna mse ufika, the guys who go to that extent of, where they can sleep around with someone else. But they're like, it's nothing. It's just sex.
It's nothing. Imeisha.
With you it's different.
Yako ni special. Ile ni ya kupitia. How? So when you deal with such a person who does not know themselves, imagine you hurt people.
Wow.
And the sad thing is that person is hurting people and they're also hurting. Now wajui. So that's why I feel we need professional care in the journey of preparing people for marriage, for relationships. Kuna wasemu ambia stop dating. One of the things that help people when they come for couples clinic, I'm here to help you separate. Sana mnapanga rusi na naambia mimi nataka kuwasaidia
muachane mapema ili tuvunje hii relationship
juu bado hakuna AG hapa, mja sign my documents at least pilau bado janini save wase budget
ni kweli bana.
No, my in-laws wataingia kwa hii story because people also don't look at the ecosystem of especially in our cultural context as Africa. Ukiwa mse wagome wa village. My in-laws wanna come through.
In fact, Musema, the wedding is not about the guy and the group, the bride and the groom.
And sadly, people think it's just a wedding.
They forget that this is a cultural thing.
From tomorrow morning after hiyo nini meshama ndio kama anza. You'll meet some uncles wale hata vile wamevaa kwa nyuma shanga mse ametoka. No, only best uncle ndiye alipia school fees. Unashangaa kimbuyu kinaenda wapi?
Wezi mwacha. Unajua ametoka wapi in my life.
Unabeba kila mtu. So people need to understand what are the ecosystem of a family.
Wow.
Family systems. Kuna wase wengine kwa hii story. Ukinitreat vibaya, kuna msia husband anamkosea, saa hiyo anapiga simu BFF. I know people who I'm married but where you are not my BFF. At story yako yote ya ndoa mpaka za bed inaambiwa wase uko nje. Na tell them guys there are things you have to protect. Kuna mahali kushaingia is a place with sanctity na heshima zake na confidentiality. You can't go pouring your stuff to everyone. Some of the issues I began noticing mistakes people don't know. Because they are not aware of the implication and consequences of airing too much to the public. Unafuta uni best yangu nimwambia tu. Hata jana alikuja msepia so the guys who wako na roho mtakatifu na kuna roho mtakatifu. Kuna roho mtakatifu na mtoka mtakatifu ni ile roho ya give us more information. And the more you give, the more it is used wrongly. So how do you draw boundaries in your friendships, in your relationships, in your marriage? Mna mtu wa maana.
So I like what you say that by the time couples are coming here and they're dating, getting ready to get married, that you unaambia kwanza my plan is to
kuwasaidia
mwachane. Which I think is important.
It is called shock therapy.
It is because we have many we have many cases of separation, divorce and separation. Like within, and I've seen this, and I was talking with Ewagata about this on a previous podcast, saying, we have many separations that we've come across, including, some of our good friends. And some of these things, you don't see them coming.
Yeah.
You don't. Like, I'll be hanging out with you, Ken, and we talk.
Yes.
We have lunches together.
Yes.
And then, 2 months down the line, I'm like, hey, man, how you doing?
Yes.
Oh, man, I've not been with my wife for a while. I'm like, but bro, we've been talking. Yeah. So and when I think about how we can, one of the ways that maybe we can be able to solve this thing, I go to a place where I said, and I know that some young guys in my office are thinking about getting married as well. Nimesema my gift itakuwa ni kuwapatia kuwalipia counseling session.
I want to add some professional counseling.
Yeah.
Kuna makoaks pia.
Yeah. Kwa sababu I'd rather get to the space where they're separated early.
Yes.
Than later. Or they're affirmed early. Yes. Because they've gone through this session where they're able to know we are good for one another.
What are we going into? Yes.
And they're aware this is what we are walking into. So that we don't get to a space where we have broken marriages.
That's right.
Because especially when kids come into the picture.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy.
Wacha nishock tumoja, bro, as you talk about kids. Our lecturer during this training and mediation says a statement that just hit me, man. Whenever a separation or divorce is happening between parents, na kuna watoi, watu sao, for watoi, they consider themselves as half dad, half mom, which is the truth biologically. XY chromosome. Umechangia wote. Now, when you acrimoniously separate or divorce, I would say they stand somewhere in an island. An island of confusion.
So they don't know.
And let me tell you, the kind of anger, hatred that these kids grow up with. And this is someone's potential wife or husband.
Yeah.
Mazee, by the time anapata mzee, amebeba hizi zote from the age of 9, from the age of 10, some kids from the age of 3. Ameona vile mmeruararuana in public.
Yeah.
And I say this because sometimes I meet people who their wedding date has been set, ako ready for harusi. You begin talking to someone, unasikia tu bile.
All the aesthetics.
Ukimuuliza about marriage, what they saw in their family of origin. Ni bile, ni anger, ni maziwa mala. Una-expect umse akwe na fresh milk. How can you expect fresh water from a salty lake? The Bible says.
It's not possible.
Because all they know is acrimony.
Yeah.
And parents don't realize we are creating, these guys you're thinking are just kids here. They're actually the next level of the next generation of parents. And so there's a generation right now that what has happened, we reached a point of leisure fair whereby kila mtu anataka Kenya nafaa usiniambie maisha yangu siniambie. You know that thing of my dress, my choice? You know when it happened? For me, it was not just a statement. It was also self-determination. Nitafanya Kenya na do. Na utaniambia. Now when parents began doing that, children were watching. Their parents do whatever they want. They began in their small way also doing what they want. And now you're telling them there's a sense of authority called ahead, my husband. You know that fight of who is... I call it the position of power in marriage. Who is in charge? The topic of submission has always remained tough because people think, sasa unanishinda, who do you think you are? We are equal. Now show me any game whereby hakuna referee. Unataka kucheza hii ball na hakuna ref. No one can call out aseme, maze, hiyo mpira imetoka nje. So people want to enter marriage and I come in at midnight na nitatoka asubuhi saa 11 na usiniambie. I can sleep out for 4 days with my girls or my boys. I know couples who are shocked. Someone told me, anaenda out for 2 weeks na girls wake. Boy, ame lose job COVID. His biashara has just shut. So hana job. Mrembo anasema, miss, job yangu iko. In fact, sasa job yake ili take off during COVID.
Wow.
So amepanga date 2 weeks ya kwenda Dubai.
Na
mazema picha ndio zinatumwa pale, unaona anatesa ma TikTok.
Na boys
wewe sasa uko kwa mala na mkate nusu. You don't have food.
And they're married, bro.
Yes.
Living in the same house.
Mtu anakuambia, I'm not your mother. Wewe jipange bana. Wow. Tafuta do yako.
Where did this come from, bro? I'm not trying to switch conversations, but I'm wondering, where did this culture come from? Because we did not learn it from our parents.
Agree.
I never saw my mom and my dad
Thank you.
saying that this is my money.
Mm.
This is, like my dad saying this is my money, my mom saying this is my money. So kila mtu ajipange. What I learned from my parents was seeing them working with one kitty.
Most, do you know what I've realized about human beings? What we constantly give ourselves to, submit us, what we constantly hear forms us. Right now, and I'm so glad that you're in this space, bro, with positive conversation. I have watched a lot of media out there. Mazeni trash. Ukiangalia my influencers.
Yeah.
Tell me how many you can count who are positive, who are giving guys real life issues that could challenge you say to responsibility.
Yeah. They're not many. They're just, it's a facade.
It's a facade.
What they're building up. It's really not realistic.
That's right. So the people driving our conversations that are everywhere are nothing close to you and me. So I cherish people who think about content that is positive, that can make guys stop for a moment and think.
Yeah.
Because there's so much content out there. But nisiza, guys, mtu asikushow. In fact, wanawase, ma comments, ukiangalia tu ma social media, the guys wale wanashangiliwa, wanasema uongo. Wanasema kitu yenye iko. Na wana drive, wase straight to their deaths. And it's because we are not entering into this space and say, guys, what of this other side? Every coin has two sides. So I want to say what you constantly hear, the last 10 years, what has been very big is the idea of meism. I call him the unholy trinity. Me, myself, and I. Ni mimi na mimi.
I like that.
So when you're in the unholy trinity of me, myself, and I, you don't see beyond your nose.
No, it's only you're consumed with yourself.
Kula mala na hiyo ni shida yake.
Yeah.
Think of
even though he's your husband or your wife.
Yes. You can't afford. Sini package. Tumepewa package. Tunaenda. Wewe sasa kaa wendi. Can you imagine msanako? No, unasahau mali umetoka na umsi.
Ndio nashindo. I mean, you've been there, uko na wase, and you've made your marriage vows, and you've said for better or for worse.
That's right.
Because there are some days that, you've been in a bad place and your husband picks you up.
That's right.
Or he's in a bad place and you pick them up. Because that's how it's supposed to be.
Now, when you reach more than 10 friends who tell you, listen, usibebane na mtu ambaye ajijui. Them, they don't know your dynamics and nyumba.
Bro, maybe those friends of yours are single.
Yes.
And they're the ones who are advising you. They're telling you, man, don't listen to you.
Yes.
If your husband can't sort himself
alafu anakwambia wewe ndio umesave. Yeah.
Wow.
Unaona the meism.
Yeah.
I'm doing it all for me. We have reached a point where we don't give room to think about what is my brother. You know that brother's keeper?
Yeah.
Man is thinking of the brother. When I set up my clinic, bro, the first 2 months, I didn't charge nobody. Na remember ilikuwa pro bono. Because I was looking at the kind of people na meet. Mse unaona need yake ni do.
Yeah.
So ukimwambia kupatie do, ashajidisqualify.
Kweli man. Yeye anajaribu kusave.
Now, as when you look at it, this guy is in need. So nikasema, if we prioritize do above this need, mazi hakuna atusaidiani. We're gonna go to the burials.
Yeah.
And sadly, I feel so bad how people get so excited about burials. Kukuambia their final respect. But they can't respect you when unaomba hapo unasema mazi nisaidie kakitu. So there are times I've asked God to lead me, discerning, is this a need that I can sow into? Even when I'm dealing with my clients. So I don't have that perspective. It's always about money. I consider myself a very wealthy man, most, because of relational capital.
Yeah.
Mi nimeenda countries ka 18, bro. The last 2 years.
Yeah.
Wejoka nini? Sijai toa do yangu hata bob moja.
Ya kubaitiko.
Sina. But sai nitatoka hapa ningekuwa ndege na niende na nirudi. Sio kwenda Uganda.
Si boda na Busia na Manga.
Ni kuenda ile masaa 19. Na naenda Jumse ameniambia pasi kasa hii kuna wase wanataka niende mahali. Wameniambia pasi just tell us when that ticket you want it on your email. Wow. We really want you. There's an event. Tunataka kuja bonga na couples and the place is 17 hours away from Kenya on flight. I'm not ready to go.
I can tell you that is not Uganda.
Unajua kwa nini nakataa? Pia najua niko na huduma hapa.
Yeah.
Niko na huduma, there are things I want to do. But it tells me these guys value my input. Kuna investment. Mazi, when I've done this thing for 25 years, I know there is something I have seen value. When I look at someone in high school, alafu na meet sasa ni judge of a high court.
You met a person in high school.
Alafu the other day mazee na fly nasikia pilot Ken Aringo, where you sit, tafadhali kuja unaitwa huko, naenda pale mbele kwa cockpit. Nikaingia kwa cockpit, nikachapa picha na pilot. I was your student in form 2.
Oh man.
Nilikuwa patch. Nikasema Mungu wangu. Yani mpaka kwa cockpit. Jamaa skiza, this is the shocking part. He's not a Christian. Ni Muislamu.
But he remembers.
He used to come to our assembly. Guess how long I used to go to that assembly? 7 minutes every Thursday. Dakika 7. I only had 7 minutes to give a pep talk. Na jamaa sema hizo ndio alikuwa. Anakanambia I keep my notes. I'm not a Christian, but you influence my life.
Wow.
Ushaonja business class. Nilionja bro, nikasema Mungu wangu saidi.
Wait, wale wasitumetembea nao tafadhali man.
Nilionja bana. Kwa sababu gani?
You invested in his life, yeah.
And it was not a hit and run.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I want to challenge fellow ministers, if you want to do anything that is long-term impact, mazee usiwe na haraka.
Yeah.
There are days guys used to laugh at me. Basi unashinda kwa mashule. I was in St. George's Girls every Monday, every Tuesday Kenya High, every Wednesday Hospital Hill, every Thursday I was in Makini, where I found my wife.
Yeah.
Every Friday I was in Sunshine.
You met your wife in Makini?
Makini, alikuwa huko. Alikuwa mwalimu. Nikasema God, nasaidia wanafunzi mazee, unipatie mwalimu. So God usikia mambo zingine zenye. So what am I saying? Kujituma. Tujitume.
Yeah.
And let's stick it out. Don't be in a hurry.
This is amazing, man. There's 2 things I want to do. First, I think Ken, we need to do something. And let me just put it out there. I think we need to have a proper marriage retreat.
Yes.
For couples.
Kabisa.
We need to do 2.
Yes.
One is a proper marriage retreat for couples. And I'm going to ask if there are couples who are watching this podcast. And you need to be in this space where Pastor Ken Aringo is. And I'm also going to, I think it's important to invite even someone like Ewagata.
It's called the Marriage Garage.
Yeah, Ewagata and Pastor Tony.
Yes.
You know.
Tomotieno.
Yeah, so we have a marriage garage.
That's right.
You know, where we have these real conversations. That's because right. I think that there's a lot of misconception and a lot of lies that have been whispered into our ears, and we believe in those things. Yeah. But then it's like we need
hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, it's like we need to have a reset.
I like the word reset.
We need to have a reset so that we enjoy our marriages. And I know
also preserve.
Yeah, so we get to that place where it's not like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, you've done so much damage that it almost becomes difficult to rebuild this thing.
That's right.
So I'm going to ask, if you guys who are watching this thing and you feel that you need to be in this space, for this marriage garage, just go ahead and drop a comment.
Yes.
I've never done this on the show, but I think that this is important. So we just stop addressing them here, but now we have some real...
Tukutane ana kwa ana.
Ana kwa ana.
Yes.
We have those real conversations one-on-one. And also when in this space where men can talk and women can talk and we can talk together.
But even potential guys say me naona mse nataka kumjua.
No, the next one sasa.
Yes.
We do for guys who are dating.
Yes. That's right.
We do for guys who are dating.
Yes.
And then we also invite a couple of...
Wapenda now.
Wapenda now.
Yes, I have a mini
That's a good... Hey, bro. I like that, bro. Now. That's good.
Yes.
So we have another one for guys who are dating.
Yes.
Wapenda now.
Yes.
And also dive into this real conversation. Yes. So heri wase wachane mapema.
Yes. Kabla ifike mali mekafunga.
Wait, it's too late, yeah.
Yes.
Once you get married, then you have to start dealing with all this mess.
That's right.
But we help guys redefine, what dating is and things like that. But let me ask you now, because you've mentioned something that's really interesting, that ulikuwa unaenda patch.
Yes. Yes. SNG.
St. George's.
Yes.
Yeah. State House Girls.
Yes.
Did you used to go to Nairobi Girls?
Yes.
Alliance Girls.
Yes. Hey, hakuna shule kwenda bana.
Because Ken, I think it's good for people to get to know your background a little bit.
Hata ushago zile za ocha Kieni Girls. Mumbuni.
Umegrow wapi? Umegrow wapi?
Islando. I grew up in USA. Ugenya Siaya Lego. Nilianza USA kwanza. So nilianza Ugenya Siaya Lego. Nilikuja Nairobi kama niko 18 years old. Actually 19. I had just cleared high school. Na nikakuja Nairobi on my way to Garissa. Nilikuwa naenda kwa Karao.
Ilikuwa stopover?
Nilikuwa nimepata Daudi Msalaba form 4. Sasa Daudi Msalaba unajua sasa unaenda kutafutanga vile sasa utasurvive. So I had an uncle who was a top cop sana, naingia pale vigilance house kumtafuta.
Yeah.
Kumbe hayuko ashaenda France, Moi amemtuma ngambo ku training father. Mimi namtafuta, hakuna simu za rununu.
Bana.
Nikajipata nimelanda Dandora bana. D.
Bro.
I got one of my cousin. Najua hapo Mfangano Street hapo hizo magereza strat. He was managing one of the mats there. Kambia, hey cousin, uko Nairobi? Niko Nairobi. I couldn't even tell him the details. Jumi najua naenda Karao. Sasa msee simpati. Kanaambia, we sasa zile mkinyo unajua zile unakoka matatu ikijaja. That's where I began.
Wanaitwa makamagera.
Makamagera. That was me. So akaniambia shikilianga hapa kidogo. I thought sasa ni job ananitayarisha. Job ilikuwa Kange, bro. And he was living in Dandora Phase 2, a place called Kinyago. So when I went to his house, majioni, nikakuta nyumba mazee, unaona hii room? Una divide times 2. Na tuko wase 8 hapo.
Bro. Wase 8 mnalalaje? Kwani
hii room iko na 8. Sasa upako unaangalia upstairs iko wapi hakuna. So mnalala in turns. Na jamani yule anajiamini, ukimwona nje anavaa poa bana. Lakini nyumba I was shocked because mimi nimetoka Ocha unajua kuna space.
Bana. Huko kuna kaboma kako.
Mambo iko sawa. I was shocked. But kitu kaniambia my breakthrough iko in Nairobi. Nikaanza kumenta watu wake.
Were you a Christian at this point?
No, I'm a believer.
Okay.
I'm a believer, nimeokoka, nimetoka high school, nishamaliza shule. How do you want to be a policeman kama una good conduct? So anyway, my good conduct was Christ.
Yeah.
So nikaanza ku add value. Then I found a church called St. Monica Dandora. Mazee nikaingia hiyo church. I used to sing. Most you may not believe it. I was a baritone. Nikaingia choir.
St. Monica ni
Dandora, ACK.
Okay.
Anglican church. I'm an Anglican, but I'm a priest of the Anglican church.
Yeah.
Nikaingia hiyo church. Nikaanza kujituma choir. Kiasi ma missions ikaanza. Tunaenda different places ku preach. Nikaanza kumitu wase wa Buruburu, St. James. Nikamit different churches. There was something called Archdeaconry, Dinary Diocese.
Yeah.
I met a man called Reverend Cyrus Manje. Alikuwa ndio director of youth kwa diocese.
Yeah.
Nimeenda All Saints. Jamali kasema, I like vile umse ujituma. I used to be the first in most meetings. I was so available. My greatest ability was my availability.
Yeah.
Kwa najituma.
Unajituma.
Uko tu hapo. Jamani after me ni committed. Kumbe sina mali. Niko njaa. Najua kuna kachai after meeting. Zile unaga mapema unajua uta-arrange vitu, utajua how much biscuits ziko chai. Lazima yani nilikuwa roho lazima najua nitapata kitu. Jamaa anajua mimi ni committed. But mimi niko na issues. So one day mazia akaniambia there's a trip coming. Wase wanaenda UK. There's a team that will come from Britain. 6 young people. We are looking for 6 young people to join them. After this you'll also have a return trip to go to the UK. Nikajua hii siwezi. Hii ni breakthrough.
These would have been waiting.
And that's exactly what happened.
Oh bro.
End of 95 I was on a plane. Nikielekea Heathrow Airport. Nikaenda UK. 95.
For how long?
For 3 months.
Yeah.
I was to remain. If I wanted to stay there, I would have.
They would have probably offered you a job.
Most of the guys I went with were back. I came back alone on that team.
Wow.
Wasi walichanuka. Mimi nirudi because I felt God telling me my assignment is here.
Yeah.
But bro, being in church setup, I say that because Kenya linitoa nje ni kwa in a church setting na kujituma, volunteer. I volunteered myself to serve in church.
Yeah.
To serve my fellow young people. And when I came back, ministry yangu ya mashule ikaanza. I joined a group called Youth for Christ.
Yeah.
YFC. Nikamitu wase wanapenda God na wanapenda mavijana. Kujituma. So we had a program ya kwenda mashule. It was called Bereans Club. Nikaingia Bereans Club. Na Action Group. I met a guy called DJ Soxy.
Yes.
Alikuwa ametoka tu shule.
Actually, I think it's Soxy introduced me to you.
Sasa.
Yeah.
Ametoka high school. A lot of guys, so they were running a program ya X-Cans.
Yeah.
I joined the X-Cans program. Bereans program. So tuko mashule. So my life just became full-time job. Na kuna kulipa moza. Ilikuwa unaenda I've walked from Buruburu to St. Mary's. Unajua Saints?
Hapa hivi James Gishuru.
Hapo I used to walk every Wednesday.
Bro,
from Buru.
Saizo umetoka Maju.
I had a brush in every school nimetoka Maju. Niko na brush. Maochi ananijua natembea na PK Big G. Na niko na ka brush kangu. Kama brush kangu kaisili Garissa Lodge ya kunuka poa. Unaweza una mkono ushtoe wasi. So pia marashi angalau. Just I had to manage myself.
Yeah.
Nikijua cause mimi niko na agenda. Na ndio ninge State House ninge Kenya High. Pia sitaki huduma idharauliwe. So naenda njaa. But after the meeting kuna kachai ya wachungaji.
Unajua umesotiwa.
Hiyo chai niko sawa. Hiyo ndo sawa. I just do it. I would do it so religiously mpaka walimu wanaanza kuambiana patrons. Mrs. Chalule Pangani anaanza kuambia Ugweno State House. Hey, there's a young man. Do you know Ken Aringo? I became famous for being available.
Wow.
Bro, that's how it is. Kidogo.
So teachers start referring you to each other.
Yeah, wanaitana. Nikaitwa Lance. Na mashule sasa kila mtu ananiita. Kidogo media. I thank God that them when family came on, wakaanza kuniita. Nikammeet a lady called Tina Nzuki and James Okum. Tukaanza teen show. So I've been on radio, I've been on TV, I've done media work because I was sharing my experience of what I was seeing.
Yeah.
And I realized there was a gap.
Yeah.
Hakuna wase wanajituma to these young people. Why do people, I ask myself, why can't the church invest intentionally kutuma wase kwa mashule? Unakuta more schools on Sunday, watoi wanajidisciple.
Oh yeah.
Wanajipreachia. So why was I going to these schools?
Tusinge zuri za church.
So thank you. So nikajipata mimi naenda tu. So unajua zile unajituma una do. I've ever gotten stuck in Embu. Niko Kieni, tumemaliza kupreach na hakuna do. Niliingia matatu nikamwambia God funga makanga macho asinione.
Bro,
Embu
by faith. Unajua si matiriza tao.
Saa 4 usiku narudi Nairobi, narudi Buru. Boy, niliingia hiyo kitu. Vita fulani ilianza na makanga wakachapana na msee fulani. Yeye akabaki amebaki somewhere, mwingine akaingia. Yeye anajua kila mtu ashalipa. Nikajua kweli kuna Mungu wake na.
Nini inaitwa Holy War?
Holy War. Ilikuwa Gaza Strip. Tukabaki nikafika Nairobi.
What?
Nikafika Buru 58 nikamwambia Kange mimi nimemaze leo nitakuona. I became a friend of Makangas. In that route because I needed to do ministry.
Yeah.
So I have seen God carry me through from lack, from literally nothing to where I began now sponsoring mission.
Bro, you're going to these schools.
Yes.
You have no support.
Yes.
Pouring into the lives of young people. Faithfully.
Na nikaanza kurecruit team. I began recruiting teams. If I found a young person asema ako jobless, ambia kuna mali kuna job. Come nikushow.
Yeah.
I began mentoring young people. Nikakuwa na team kubwa ya kwenda masho. I was in a church in Kilimani this Sunday. I won't say the church. A young man shared about how I impacted his life. Maze nililia. He went on and on. I didn't even know what I was doing. But I just knew I needed to bring young people to mentor and reach other young people. Boy aliongea maze Sunday nikasikia maze amenitouch. But I was saying he was looking for an opportunity for ministry. I gave him that chance.
Wow.
And me myself, I knew God amenipatia influence with young people. Wananisikiza. How young Buru? You've come to my house.
Yeah, I came to your house.
When I got married, nilikuwa na kanyumba kadogo.
Yeah.
Ilikuwa inajaa waseka 30.
I remember. I came for one of the meetings for PhD.
That's where PhD began in my house.
Wow.
It was too small. Paka Rafton akanifungulia nyumba yake. Rafton opened his house for me, akaniambia pasi kuja bana makesha. I would go to his house because I was just hungry to create safe spaces for young people.
Yeah.
And I want to challenge some of us who are blessed. Mazeka uko na ka place. Open up space for young people to come and do apprenticeship. Walk with them.
Yeah.
My mentorship, I call it life on life. PhD runs programs today, three major pillars. Pillar 1 is orphans and vulnerable care. I take care of kids who are disadvantaged, orphans. Number 2 is life on life. A post-high school program. Walk now. Between high school, the transition between high school and campus inakuwa noma sana. Wasi upote hapo.
Yeah.
Jua na kutasa real life. Freedom. Kujipa.
Yeah.
And then the final program is the marriage garage. I take care of couples and marriages.
Yeah.
Because that's where I am. Na me, I am a product of a working marriage. Mazee ndoa yangu wagani noma.
In fact,
wife yangu ni best yangu. BFF. Ukiniambia kitu, ndamwambia. Hiyo nakwambia roho safi.
Hakuna siri.
Hakuna siri.
Hey.
Sasa nitamuonaje kwa birthday suit na siwezi mwambia. Mambo ya password. Password ya simu ni kitu ya kunyima mtu. Unalala naye.
Buda. Vile siku hizi kuna mapassword mob.
Mimi siwezi weka. Anajua. Because that's my BFF.
Yeah.
And those are things I tell young people. How do you say someone is, Bay na ajui password? Unadanganyana.
Hiyo ni makosa, man.
Makosa ba.
So, hey bro. So, you look at your marriage now, and we're going to talk about it as well. When you look at your, at your upbringing, life with your parents, and who you are with your wife right now.
Yes.
Are you guys the same? Are you guys like opposites?
Okay, I can say honestly, the model of my dad and mom. I come from a family of 13 kids. I'm number 11 of 13.
Give me a ball.
Alafu Mbuya akona second wife who has 6 kids. So we are total 19. So I can't say I saw my parents much in their marriage, but that home was a safe space. Her home was. I saw mom akijituma, Mbuya akijituma. Unajua zile kila mtu anafanya their part. And analeta kwa hiyo kitu lisema the one basket principle. I saw it. So that is what the model I purpose. But also purpose, I'll never have more than 3 kids. Actually, me, I wanted 1 child. God akani bless na watatu. Because niliona hiyo football team approach si poa. Unajua zile ugali na kwa meza firimbi inapigwa. Kawe ni mslo. I used to cry wanaona tu dema imeisha kwa meza. Wase wameenda. Nikasema watu wangu watapata na space ya kula, kila mtu afike kwa sahani.
Hawasemi mazetu wazina wale wadogo kwanza.
Nilikuanga saa bidii yako nitakuokolea. So that's why I said have a small family and also have 1 wife. I vowed never to have 2 wives or more than 1.
Yeah.
So muaga kwa pot moja ndo muchovia. Hiyo 1 pot.
I like that. Pot moja ndo uchovia.
Muchovia pot moja siwezi pita. Hata nikiwa ngambo na mngoja hiyo pot yangu siwezi ingia kwingine. Because najua the value of investing in one place.
Yes.
Mambo ni moja si matatu.
Yeah, man. Si matatu.
Mambo ni moja tu.
Hope tusiwe kwa sababu kutumia mambo ni matatu.
Sina shida. Hata mimi nitapata huyo moja.
Hey, maze. So, how did you reconcile with Mrs. Aringo in terms of, you know, you want 1 child. How many kids did she want?
Alikuwa anataka 2. Yes, and we agreed.
Oh, you are...
Yes, kamili ground. Mmoja 2, God akasema sawa.
Yeah.
Tukajipata na 3 and we thank God for those 3.
That's what's up, man. I remember my wife and I when we were dating and talking about kids. You know, sometimes we used to be like, yeah, we can do with 2. You know, I'm okay with 2. And, you know, she was also like, even before, like even as a young person, I always used to tell my friends, Maze, I want 2 kids.
Good. So it was easy.
Yeah. So when we got married, we're like, yeah, but then we're like, she's like, yeah, we try for a 3rd one, you know, unaonaje? Like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Best decision ever.
Come on.
Best,
see God.
Yeah.
See God.
Best decision ever.
And this can be, you see, bro, what you've said sounds so simple between you and your wife. There are people who that's a cause of divorce.
Wow. Yeah.
Ama separation. Jumse ako stuck up on their, I call it positional argument. Angali interest. Difference between position and interest. Position is what I want. Interest is yangu nawe pia. Try and wear the shoe of the other party.
Yeah.
So kakuna friendship. You see, there's a barrier. There's something that breaks forth when there's a friendship. Ushaona vile una argue na best yako. Ukienda kuongea mbao unafura, umse next week maze bado naweza taka kafea. I need something from them.
Yeah.
But there are people who even in the argument with their spouses, they are on a barrier because there's no friendship.
Yeah.
Our gender deep. I know guys who go out for 3-4 months and wanasema tunakafunga story imeisha.
Yeah.
They don't even think,
bro, there's no time.
Unajuaje mse? Hizi 3 bana. Na unamkutanga kashava. Ujaimwona na boxer.
Ni kweli.
I know someone aliolewa akaenda wakaingia honeymoon. Wameenda their first night. Aliona mtambo. Akasema mimi mtambo kuna mahali na hiyo kitu naenda. Alijifunga bana kwa room. These are the issues I talk about soft sex.
Hakuna vile.
Asema hakuna mahali kitu naenda. Na akajifunga 6 hours. Ikakuwa honeymoon. Atoki.
What?
Akapiga simu ilinifikia. Basi mimi hapa nini kumia. But these are the guys who came to PMC kawa washa set date. Hawajisikizi.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Kajua mazee hakuna Mungu kuna vile aliumba hii kitu. So tunarudi sana nursery school ya history ba.
Yani vitu zinge happen before we have conversations.
Unajua zile unakujanga PMC mtu anaongea anajiongelesha. Counselor anajiongelesha.
Yeah.
Wewe tu umemaliza. Manguo ziko sawa. Picha. What is your priority?
You know, the thing is, we value the wedding day.
That's right.
More than the marriage.
Because of PR.
We don't think about the marriage.
That's right.
And, you know, guys are probably listening wondering, what's PMC? You know, it's premarital counseling.
Yes, premarital counseling.
Nothing else. You know, nothing beyond that.
That's right.
It's keeping it. It's a place where you're supposed to keep it real.
Yes. Why is it called pre? Kabla
ifanyike. Yeah.
That's why I say, hapa ndio tunaweza haribu hii story.
Yeah.
But ikisha post,
hakuna ingine sendo kwa ni post
we start blaming God. There's a new theology, bro. You come isikia unafanya theology. There are guys who hate a verse in the Bible when God says God hates divorce. They want that verse deleted in the Bible. I have met people, actually someone told me, Pasi, do you think God is fair? I'm like, what do you mean? Akasema, kama akaniambia the reasons why I'm a divorce. How can God still say I hate divorce? Onism tulifanyiwa. So I was like, how do I reconcile that?
Yeah.
The truth is this, I'm not here to defend God. But I can tell you divorce breaks the heart of God. Because it breaks you and breaks the other party and breaks several other people along the line. That's what I'm saying. If there's anything I can help you, mukosane kabla, muachane kabla, tutasave your story uko mbele. But what happens when it has now happened? Kuna kitu musema, maze God is a gracious God. But there are things I strongly believe. If you look back at any point where kuna mambo imetibuka, we all have a contribution. And sadly, we have a generation that we never want to own up on our side. Always pointing out blame on the other side.
Without taking it on your
responsibility. So I want to say this, guys, for us to safeguard our marriages and avoid these divorces that have become like toilet paper. You wake up and there's another one. We need to start digging deeper in the foundations of our relationship before we get in. And for those who are in, what you've said, let's have the marriage garage.
I think so.
Tujiulize maswali ngumu. I have, by the grace of God, I've helped 2 couples come back from a separation. Ile wamekaa away for over 3 years from each other.
Na wamerudiana.
Na
wako sawa.
Wako sawa. Ambia mazee, akumbe. There was just lack of information. Na ile ubabe ya the kind of people you are listening to. Some people also discourage the voices. When you're in the process of separation or divorce, who do you constantly listen to? Ukikana msena anakuchocha tu, muoneshe, show them what you are made of. When this is over, atajua ajui. Guess what? You can't be gracious.
No.
So I want to say, sometimes the person who is hurting you is hurting more. Do you ever try and enter into their shoe? Like msee mwenye alihatiwa kaa kwa mtoi, anakuwa as a husband. Akuambii because you're not friends. Haizi kuambia. Hakuna trust. I know couples who talk for in a week, wanaongea for 2 hours in 1 week. Cumulatively. Ama 20 minutes. But ukifika na maboys wako, sasa ndo inaisha bana. Saa 7 hata mjamaliza. Na ukiwa na mrembo, kneel by mouth. Mpatie maji. Mtu unaona ako uchi bana na muongeleshani. Really?
Doesn't make sense.
Communication in marriage. That's one of the components I do in premarital counseling. Teach guys kuna communication ya mimi na Mos na kuna communication ya mimi na mrembo. One of the things my wife has taught me, my wife ni mtu wa kusave. Mimi ni msewa, nikiwa na do, lazima itatumika. Do niwasha. Nikiwa na do nataka itumike saa hizi. Wife ni msewa mazee, hii do lazima umeweka. Hiyo ni swali alikuwa ananikasirisha. When I got married alikuwa ananiannoy.
Kukuuliza mali vile unafanya.
Mali nikipata tu kadogo kidogo. Mimi nataka mazee sasa hii ningi sasa nijitibu niambie mwili pole. Ananiambia mazee hiyo sio
ile mazee yote nimepitia sasa. Wacha sasa kwanza at least niweze.
Ni saver. Mazee ameni help. Kuna vitu today I've been able to do more because of that lady.
That's amazing.
Mazee kuna project mwangalia. Hii ni yangu. Naona kiempa anasema uju kuna msichana teach the value of 10 bob. But mimi ni kwa mazee hii do. Leo lazima tutatesa.
Bro, you talk, I'm so like you bana. Pia mimi mazee. Mimi nikiona do. Hiyo ni washa mazee.
Atatumia.
Hiyo ni washa.
Hiyo rosa ni ngumu. I have to restrain myself. Juna, in fact there are days when I want to use it. Naona tu wife akiniambia na kuona. Nasa hiyo nishapiga order. Nimeingia chava mazee nishaitisha. Nasikia tu sauti. Hakuona. Narudisha tu duka wale. So no, I add value kwa life yangu.
Man. But there are people
give
who,
a compliment.
The guys who can't deal with the wives asking them questions.
You see?
I've struggled with it.
Mimi umwambia mimi salary. She knows. I earn. In fact, that's one area I have purpose. Atajua. Nimefanya. I have bought 3 opportunities. Za who get to do. Areas. Mwambia hii inatoa hii. Inatoa hii. Ajue. Na make signatory. In fact, hakuna mahali nitafanya kitu bila my wife.
Atapata nini?
Ile account inatoa meja. Hapo yeye ndio signatory mso. Cause yeye akona ayosema hapo tunatoa juu ya nini? Juu mimi nikiingia pale inavunja. So amenisaidia bro. Nam celebrate. God akubless sana Ruth. I tell guys when Ruth is not there I'm normally ruthless.
With yourself.
She helped me Ruth to be truthful.
Yeah. And I've got to tell you, even as we talk about separation, talk about communication, there are certain things that we can be able to do to help. Guys who are listening to the podcast or watching it. What flags I mean, you've been at this for a while. And I guess that this is the direction that God has led us to.
Yeah.
What flags should guys look out for when they're dating? And what flags should they look out for when they're in marriage to know that this thing is heading in the wrong direction? Let's resolve this before it gets too late. Wow. Yeah.
Number one, hapo inaitwa the couples clinic.
Yeah.
The key thing mwambe wase angalia maze is honesty. It is dangerous to deal with someone who ayuko sincere. And how do you know someone is honest? Wase usema kitu, how someone, I can tell you something today and after 2 weeks, najikanganya. Nasema kitu ingine.
Yeah.
So that, so please be an active listener. Okay, date namse. Why do I say there's a difference between hearing, listening, and active listening? An active listener usikia even the unspoken. Okay? Msi anakuambia mimi napanga in the next 10 years nataka kuwa so and so kitu kubwa. Alafu after 2 weeks anakuambia mimi si mtu haizi niambia kenye nafanya. Ndaenda vile. Already your vision iko mixed up. Clarify. So listen to clarify. So demand for sincerity. If you don't see it, because ini kitu msee hazi pretend about, there are those things I call intrinsic traits. Kama msee ana nusiwe ifuria ati kataanza kunyesha uko mbele. No. Call someone out. Mwambie by the way, these are non-negotiable. Lazima ufike mahali hata pia una boundaries. So usiingie into dating relationship roju ama na mwili yote. Deep end. And then insecurity. Watch for your insecurities. Some people enter a relationship na hajadil na their own insecurities. You're in this thing so that msia akwe covering ya akufunikie. Labda you are running away. You have unresolved issues. Kuna asi ametoka from another dating relationship. Hata ijaka 1 month. Unatakuonesha wase ubabe. Atajua hata mi bado napatikana, bado niko soko. Don't enter dating relationship to go proving a point. Don't prove a point. Because your point utaiprove until kwa ndoa. Na ndoa itakuprovia point yake. So don't prove a point. Be legit. Be as honest with yourself and demand honesty from the other end. To look at the circle of influence ya mse. Mazi wase wengi. Ukiangalia mabeshte ya mse, you can tell. Where they oscillate. Show me your first 5 friends. From wale kitchen cabinet yako. Watano. Moza, I can tell who you are. And that's what I tell couples every day. Mse unampenda. Unajua mabeshte yake. Sa ile ame hit a deep. Anado kwa wale.
And many guys are not true to show, to reveal who their true friends are.
If someone cannot reveal to you who their closest associates and friends are, maze jitoe. Juu unaingia una relate na island. Imagine unaingia kwa inaitwa nini island? Hapa Uganda na Kenya imeleta shida sana. Migingo Island. I was there the other day. Maze umetumbwa mali, you are alone na mse. So meaning kakinuka niwe na yeye. Hakuna mse mwingine atainguka hiyo space. The beauty of knowing their circle of their friends influence is that these are people you can also consult. Like me, I remember when I wanted to marry my wife. Nili kufanya my DCI. Nilifanya investigation. Nikaulizia mabeshte wake, walimu fulani, marela, some of her sisters. I remember sitting with her sister for 2 hours.
Bonding or just finding out more about truth.
Maswali interview. Juu nataka umse na nimjue. Juu maze kuna vitu utapata kai imeisha. And I knew bado hatujafika level na zanambia. So I had to do your due diligence to know the person.
Wow.
It's important. So do not be in a hurry to sign on the dotted line before you know the person. Just like any business deal. Don't sign on the dotted line before you know what you're getting into. So know the person, know their kind of friendships. Family. Maze, mse anakuambia mimi naishi hapa na umeenda umoja. Hizo manyumba zote ni hapa. Itaisi kuwa hapa bwana. Kuna umoja wangu moja tu, kuna inako wapi? Nyumba namba 4B tuingie. Unakuangana nani peke yako? Na nani? Know where the person comes from. I know someone they were wedding. A pastor friend of mine asked me to step in for him. Hayuko na mpasi nishikilie ndoa. Kana kushikilia bana. So I demanded for a session before the wedding the next day. This lady ajui hata msi anaishi wapi.
And they're getting married.
Yes, the next day. Ajui.
Bro. You only flag.
I'm like, what? Stranger. So mkiwana mnaenda. Ana confidence. Si tunaenda honeymoon. From honeymoon mnaenda. tulijibu maswali ngumu bana. But what am I saying? That
what was the guy? So like, why was the guy hiding?
Exactly. He was hiding because hakuwa na place yake, anaishi na mabeshte. So anapeleka mrembo wapi? Mase, we had to get that. So imagine how late in the hour that is.
And she's walking
into it. Yeah, jamani msapia akivaa na kuvalia, akikuja ndai ameomba. Asiana kazi.
Luku iko.
Na nispenda kama mimi.
Yeah. What?
So showbiz. Sasa una date na pia, yani optics.
Yeah.
Hakuna kitu, mambo kwa ground ni different.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, guys. We need to be clear. Let's invest. Let's ask the hard. Unaishi wapi na nani? Mama yako yuko, baba? Find out.
Yeah.
And then now you enter.
Yeah.
Mazee mkiingia kwa your relationship. Be authentic. You know what authenticity is?
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Because mazee, marriage demands for intimacy. I said intimacy is intimacy.
Yeah.
Unaita msee aingie ndani. Someone who will enter atakuingia literally. Ataingiaje na huku kuna
kama walls.
Yeah. So drop the walls.
Yeah.
And two, remember that hii kitu mazee ni marathon. Marriage si relay. Sio 100 meters. It's not a short race. Unajua watu uliza wase wa short races na long races. Kama ni msa marathon, unaenda hizo New York marathon, tizi yako inakuanga heavy.
Yeah.
Endurance.
Yes.
You know, I'm in this thing for the long haul. Tunaenda, think of guys who run for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Mozusha jaribu kimbia 1 hour.
Bro.
Sasa hiyo, why am I saying this? Because marriage has a long-term approach to it.
Yeah.
And so if you're going for a long term, usiheme sana. Wacha kutoa, guys, enter.
Jipace. Enjoy the ride.
Ndio hiyo.
Yeah.
So there are guys who went unasikia where manebo watu wamejua ameona, mmeshikana maPDA kila mahali. Yani mnatesa mpaka watu wenye ajai nini patikana wanasikia tu vibaya. Hapana bana, please. Watch, enda pole pole. Jipace, be authentic, and two, must go back to the cross. Hii mpenda kwambia sienda. I want to say this as a believer. Kama kuna mahali couples wanna fail. If you are not submitted, you can't submit. A man or a woman who is not submitted, how is he submit? And marriage demands for submission.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because mimi, kuna vitu wife anaweza niambia nikasirike, naenda na report kwa God. Naambia God, mazee simuelewi. Kuna ile kitu alinishow leo. Nasikia amekuja sana. God ananipatia mazee hekima, wisdom. Nasikia hata mimi nashughulikiwa. Have a place around. Where do you run to as a couple?
Yeah.
Have an altar. Have an altar in your home. Mahali mnaweza piga, no, submission is kwenda kwa magoti.
Yeah.
Mahali mnaweza, leo tunaambia Mungu we don't know what to do. Things are not adding up. Tumekosana, tuongeleshani, ni usiku. I don't know where to go. Can we talk to God?
Yeah.
So raise an altar for your marriage. And then invite other people, significant other people, friendships who are mature, who you can talk to. Because the problem, awase wengi wako na moza, unakuta best couples kwa weddings. Unakonga ni wase wa nini, mapicha tu.
Oh yeah.
Leta best yako, mi wangu. When they have signed on that certificate, you never meet.
You never see them again.
In fact, wengine wedding inaishanga wako kwa ndege wameenda.
Yeah.
So when there's a problem, where do you go?
Yeah.
So look for elderly couples, people you can sit under their tutelage and mentorship.
Yeah.
Useme maze, sisi hatuko poa. Because those moments will come. And people fear to open that space for at least 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to discourage people from this thing of kurudi home. Mmekosana na bwana wako ama bibi yako, unakimbia kwenyu. Obviously they'll be biased.
Yeah.
Toto wetu. So this thing,
they'll never see the bad side of you.
Bwana amekosea, mbuyu unapigia baba, na wewe ni daddy's girl. I mean, mbuyu akishasikia dota yake, si anakuja kuharibu.
Yeah.
Umesaidiaje? So please get neutral parties to solve issues.
And there are the guys who are listening to us right now, you know, who are in that space either of dating or they are married and, you know, they're in that space of conflict. So kawaida kama vile umesema, dem anaweza toka mazi akimbie.
Yes, kwao.
Akimbie kwao. I remember once a friend of mine, kitambo man, and akinipigia simu, I mean nikiongea naye mazi like this is like 2 weeks after marriage. Mazili jana nimelala kwa kiti, nimekusana na wife. Namuuliza, what do you mean umelala kwa kiti? Wiki 2.
Yes. Fanyika.
Umelala kwa
kiti. Hata alijaribu.
namuuliza how do you you know
reach there.
How did you reach there?
Yes.
Because kama utafika hapo, the next step itakuwa
ndio
utalala nje. How
ndio hiyo
unacheki. How do we help guys resolve conflicts?
Ndio asiende kwa kiti. Mbona ameenda kwa kiti, ana mse wa kuambia mse ako kwa island. I say that because if there's someone who from the get go mmemwambia we want to officially let you know, mutual consent, that we will involve you in our marriage, because marriage ni kama mtoi mwenye ana learn ku walk. No one is ever born anajua ku walk. So invite someone who at least you say maze mi kifika mahali I can't go back to my marriage bed na ni usiku. There's one person we can tell kabla nilale kwa kiti nitakwambia mse moja. There are guys who are averse to that. Couples akwambia mimi vitu zangu haziendangi nje. Hiyo ni njia ya kukublock. Asha kuwekea barrier. Please have one person who you can say, bro, mi leo naenda kwa kiti. Kwa nini? Then talk. I told you I lost that friend of mine because it was too late.
He was not talking.
I imagined him say all through. I was seeing signs. A guy who used to be noisy anaongea. Tuna meet. Kwa group mazi amenyamaza. Hatoi point. Nashanga, what's wrong with one? But I open up. But when I finally, too late. So don't wait until it's too late. Like you said, from the kitty, another room, if you are privileged to have another room. From there, I know a couple who, yani mse alikuwa naishi na mabeshte na anaacha bibi kwa nyumba for 1 year. Anazunguka kwa manyumba za mabeshte.
Wow.
I wondered, all these friends, why mwambie bro?
Unaduni ni hapa.
Ni hapa.
Na kuna wife.
But, unajua maboys, si amekuja saa ile ball imeshika.
Hata nilale tu hapa.
Ni hivyo. So, let's also be true. Tukue true as friends. Let's tuambiane mwazo ukaipo leo bana. Ulishughulikiwa na Debs leo ama? Ama alikusa bana, alikusa. Muuliza wase, maswali tu. Una kazi ama
Kuna bishti yangu mazee alikuwa anauliza maswali real sana mazee.
They help bro. So at least have that one person who wewe umempatia kibali unaweza niuliza.
Ni kweli man. Let me ask you man. So I like your new conversations on social media right now.
Yes.
And I hope the guys are enjoying the conversations that we're having, because this is very insightful, bro. You have this amazing book that you wrote the other day. I said the other day, but it's in 2016, 2017 you dropped it.
Yes.
It's called The Software of Sex.
Yes.
Most talked about
Least Understood.
Yes. That's the book right there. Sex Education Part 2. The first one is the Wagata.
Yes.
The Software of Sex. Yes. What's this book about, and why did you decide to write it?
Hiyo book ilikuwa birth at time 2 weeks sikuwa na ndai. Nikaingia kwa matatu. Mazee asubuhi.
Uliona mama.
Unasikia discussion fulani one of the media houses. Wase wanaongea mambo ya bedroom. Asubuhi saa 1. Na vile hiyo show imeshika. I was sitting next to a lady who is my mother's age mate. Mazee nikasikia.
You even feel uncomfortable
And I'm like, the stuff I was hearing most, I'm like, this is a lie. No. Someone needs to set the truth out there. To set the record straight.
There are all these misconceptions
about sexuality.
And these are so loud in our lives.
Anasema vile amelala na watu 6 within 3 months. Na yeye ni mwanaume na bado anangoja. Another lady pia akasema mimi nimelala na wanaume 27. Na mtu haizi niambia wanaume watajua azini yeye amebeba. Ana edify my glory zake vile amezibeba. I call our private parts my glory. Vile amebeba. Mazee nikasema assets. Ani kuna alafu manyimbo. I would hear some songs the same 2 week. Mazee unasikia artist anaimba zingine mpaka unasema woi. So I began decoding. I won't say the name of the artist. I began decoding some of the stuff they were saying. Hizi ni mse ana celebrate bedroom vile ka condom mpira zimeraruka the room imenuka things. I'm like, the place is charged na ana celebrate the action. Na mtu mwenye ajawa is not a wife. As in, it's just a random being randy. Na ini a full song. No, I was seeing this young person, ameimba my lines come, ameenda zake, I'm like, I'm like, someone needs to speak about these things. So I said, you know what? Let's talk about sex. God has given all of us the hardware.
Yeah.
Kila mtu akona hardware. But software, lazima to download. So I decided to prepare software for sex that people can download so that hizo hardware zitumike poa. So what am I talking about in my book? How do we understand the underlying issues about sex, the inner dynamics of sex? For example, Kuro, the people should really be happy about sex. If it was really something great, was prostitutes, because they have a lot of it. Are they the happiest?
No.
Why do you say so, bro? Now do you want to have the most?
Yeah.
Because the people who enter marriage thinking, mimi sasa naenda kujipa. We, mtu atanichotea.
Boys wako walikuwa nasema mara 3 kwa siku.
But I'm thinking, it's not about the action. It's not about just kuingia. Maze kuna vitu lazima zingi. Do I trust you? Who are you? Ndio ingienda. Kuna msichana ingia ndo ananyimwa live. Namba tu mimi enda uoge. Naye hapendi kuoga jioni, alioga asubuhi. Namba unanuka oil. Now ni bibi yako anakukazi. Ama tu ako that women have that time of the month. In my book I'm investigating the orgasm. How do we I've met couples who have never reached orgasm, no wako kwa ndoa miaka mingi hawajaifika orgasm.
Wow.
Miaka 5 hawajaifika kule. As you listen to them, because that's my area of expertise. Unasikia juu ni mse anaingianga safari rally. Ajui kubembeleza gari. Anataka, unajua safari rally gari unapeleka haraka juu au kwa next week. Matope umerukisha. Slow down maze kitu ni art.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about how do we bembeleza hii kitu so that ishike. Ng'ombe ukikamua usiende na haraka, ifunge, ipatie nyasi. Ndio kamue.
Pake mafuta.
That's what paka mafuta. Alini so tuacha haraka.
Itakuwa ni ngoma ya msanii.
Sasa hiyo kitu hapo I'm talking about to prepare the ground.
Yeah.
To build trust.
Yeah.
I like the soil kudeka. Deka mse. Bibi yako je mpatia praise. Amevaa nguo, ametoka salon. Nywele ameunda. Wewe uoni. Colleague at work ndiye ataiona. Je iona. Alafu namwambia afungue nini? Tajifungulia. Uja build up. Mchana tumia mtu text. Mwambie mazee leo mimi nakuhata. Nikikuona jioni naona kaka kutaribika. Prepare.
Nasinzia nikikuwaza.
Yani prepare the way to your wife. Sadly people are doing those to girlfriends but not to wife. So we treat our wives as if like a doormat. But the outsiders, we are so kind to them. Man, software of sex is all about celebrating the whole ecosystem of sexuality. Let's not mistake sex to mean sexuality. So I'm setting out to bring the difference between sexuality and sex. Sexuality, mwanaume akona vile ana receive. There's a way female receive love. For women it's affirmation. Mwambie tu kitu. Mwambie tu mrembo, maze anasikia. Mwanaume, msitaki mambo mengi. Yeye anakuanga ni gas cooker.
Ready to light up.
So iso dynamics is what I'm talking about. Let's understand the dynamics of sexuality for us to be a blessing to each other. Because sex is a gift. When purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Oh yeah.
So let's understand the purpose of sex.
And and we live in a generation. It's been there, I think, for a long time. But nowadays, people try to say that it's an over-sexualized generation. I think sex has been with us for a long time. But sex is not valued now. It's just another thing for pleasure.
That's right.
Is that how God intended it to be?
Sadly, no. And that's partly, bro. As in my book, I've towards the end, I talk about the environment that God wants for us to celebrate and enjoy sex. It's a context called marriage. Maze ukiangalia Genesis, vile imetoa. For this reason, lazima kukue na living, cleaving, and weaving. Living, cleaving, and weaving. Tuanze na living. For this reason, a man will leave his father's
mother's house.
Meaning, kuna mali unakuwa a man of your own. Munato, independence. Intimacy demands for solitude. Maze ndo ishike. Lazima kuwe na bedroom. Hii mambo ya one night stand, half night stand. The other day I went to a concert. Kabla yanze. One of these concerts zimekuwa the last few weeks. Nikapita tu nje hiyo place. Watu walikuwa wamefika na manguo zingine. By saa moja watu wameanza kukula vitu live. Makondo masubuhi ukifika. Guys are having sex now on the go.
Yeah.
Kwa mandai. Maze kuna place. When you leave, umetoka kwa wazazi, meaning umechukua responsibility kwako. You create an environment for sex to happen, for intimacy to happen. So that independence gives you responsibility. Then cleaving ni kuja pamoja. Ile yenye sasa ukiingia pale kuna trust. Unajua huu ni leo na ni kesho na ni kesho kutwa. Not just having it, but you are responsible even for the results of what will happen. Consequences.
You're ready for the consequences.
Yes, so cleaving is the sweetness. The sweet part is the cleaving. And we all we go to the cleaving before leaving. Leaving meaning you are willing hata wallet. Ambia mazie wallet pia ni yako. Si tuma vitu. Hata wallet pia. Unaweza itisha.
Kuna responsibility fulani inakuja na.
So cleaving is the coming together. And then finally, the weaving. As you know, the hardest part. Weaving is what the Greek call perichoresis. Hivi. Perichoresis ni kameshikana, hakuna kuachana.
You guys are one.
One. These two are no longer two, but they are one. Ukiitwa na jina. There's a big debate. Moshuka umesikia. Ya majina. People now are saying, mi nikiwa kwa ndoa, I don't take your identity. Jina yangu nabaki nayo. Sitaki jina yako. Really? Tunaongeza tu ka hyphen. Tumemodify maziki kitu. Meaning, we are in this thing, but we are looking for exit. Weaving means you close all the exits. I know guys who tell each other, let's try. If it doesn't work, tunaweza achana. Nani, after the wedding. Already mshaweka exit close.
And once you enter with that
once
attitude.
You enter na umeipatia tu opportunity, the devil only needs a foothold. Ataenda nayo. So guys, let's live, cleave, and weave. It's long term.
It's not a short sprint.
It's not an in-out.
Bro, guys, I've got to tell you, man, you've got to look out for this book, The Software of Sex.
Thank you.
Again, this is not a planned thing that you're going to highlight the book and, but I do think that these are good conversations for us to be able to have. You talked about that intimacy or that oneness. And so it's like when I got married and my wife and I were making love, I was like, man, I'm not ashamed.
That's right.
Because we're doing it right.
Umelive na ukaklive.
Bro. Kuna satisfaction flani iko.
Alafu because you know you are responsible.
Man. Najua wasota mangana, man. And of course kuna pleasure. But there's doing it right where you know.
That's right.
Yani hapa hata God akisimama mbele yetu tuko sawa.
That's right.
I have nothing to be ashamed about. And so I want to encourage guys,
let's do it right.
Yeah, let's do it right. Before you go and have sex with someone, man, just think about what you're doing.
That's right.
Don't make it easy. Don't make it cheap.
Yes, that's what the word is. Don't make it cheap.
Yeah, because it's valuable, man. It's something that you want to be able to enjoy in the right confines. And bro, we need to we need to wind up. And there's a lot that I feel it's like every time I get towards the end of the podcast, there's so much that I feel I want to ask.
That's right.
But this has been absolutely incredible, bro.
Amen. Nangoja season 2. Nilikwambia ukianza hii story lazima itakuwa na part 2.
Lazima iko na part 2 bana.
Jio part 2 sasa ni where the kids come in, bro. People honestly, I know people who get kids and they're married and they're shocked. And hey, mimi sikuwa najua ulinicheza. Unaambia bibi yako alikucheza.
Hatuko tumepangia.
What are you expecting?
Ujui mazee unaweza vaa CD na bado mazee
kalipuke. Tu ukikula lazima
ndio hiyo sasa.
Usishtuke umeshiba na ulikuwa unakula.
There's a lot that we can talk about, by the way. And I think we need to have, bro, honestly, we need to have that marriage garage.
That's very important.
But we invite couples again.
I have had to invest in this so that people can see the value. Bro, I had to create a very unique space. This space is unique for that. Whereby ukiingia unajua ni garage. Because I was in some context. Unajua ukiwa kwa context where the top haikuelewi. And I am avoiding to go into that detail. Whereby where ni servant uko juu ya mse. Kwa nyumba ya mse huwezi leta rules zako.
Ni kweli.
But sasa hapa mimi ndio CEO.
Hapo utacheza na nini yako.
Hapo utacheza na rules zangu. Because me I know what the end goal. Whereby you are doing just something to sanitize a process. I felt every day of my life something is wrong. And I try to question. I'm like, why can't we do this? Mbona tunaita wase mass what is this called? Mass premaritals. I know guys who have gone ile watu 50. You go through 3 months but you finish the session, you've never even talked. juu unaangalia msi hao anakaa poa anaingia kwa ameshikana nyinyi mlitoka kwa different spaces mwingine ametoka Kisumu mwingine Mombasa mmefika session watu wamekuja pamoja walilala pamoja and you're in the same group you don't feel connection you feel lost.
Bro, I can tell you like when I was when us guys were going for premarital first unfortunately I slept for most of those
no sasa wewe kwanza ni candidate moja wewe hata utakuwa organizer utakuwa
class sababu hiyo class setting tulikuwa boma tulikuwa wengi
unakuwa kwanza roho ya mbele hapo
ndio hiyo lakini nothing God kwa sababu neema man hiyo commitment
alafu kujituma basi
bana hiyo ni muhimu.
So like me I tell couples and a group but let me tell you there's a place where by the two of you that you need a safe space where unaweza funguka ambia msee by the mimi I met a couple that manzi alikuwa raped 4 years before her wedding. Alisema the last session of her premarital ndio anaambia msee I was raped. Now one of the things she had vowed is hakuna sex. So ana marry companion beshte.
Hajui maze kuwa.
Na jamaa nikamwambia so what are you expecting when you get married? Sema mimi nimengoja been abstaining miaka 18.
Na ngoja hii moment.
Na huyu alikuwa so the last thing in her mind hiyo kitu wewe your fasting ni yako.
And met hapo kuna expectations.
Mse ako Limuru. Mwingine ako Kericho.
Yeah.
Tutakutana aje bro?
What?
So these are the issues I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I agree with you that premarital session even as you come to finish it needs to be as much as sometimes you guys want to go for them in groups. There needs to be that intentional one-on-one.
That's right.
Where you can be vulnerable and where you can get deep.
And I go a step further. I even call for individual sessions. Mwambia mrembo leo utakaa na wife. Utakaa na mimi boy. And where we can do individuals. There are things that hata mse unampenda though hujamjua you don't trust them enough to do them stuff. At least kuna a place ya confidential. Unaweza niambia vitu zingine. We find a way of how to get it to the other side. How to the vehicle to kubeba hii information. Juni heavy. So you see how involving it is.
And it needs to be.
There's a couple I worked with Maze. Tulifanya PMC for 1 year. Their premarital lasted for 1 year. This couple I meet them. Au niambia pasi. You don't know what you did to us.
Wow.
1 year. And we used to do cookouts. Wanakuja kao yetu and unaenda kwa nyumba yao. We just do hangouts. We go eat fish, mamoliech. I just watch them. You know, we just do stuff that are random. Because that's what they asked for. For us, we need more than the average couple. Say, why? Say, you'll know why. And when we began, Maze tukaona, there's a reason.
Kuna job.
Sema, walikuwa wale personalities. Kila mtu ni mzito. Nikawasema, sisi ndio utuvunje. We need 1 year. Kasema, fine, we'll do it. And it was enjoyable.
Wow.
Today, I look at that couple nasema, God our bless.
That's what's
so Maze ni kujituma. Take time, don't be in a hurry. Usikuja to premarital counseling as an ETC. On your item, iko number 41.
42 ni marriage. Ndoa. Wedding day.
Na ukiambia ni 10,000. By the I charge.
That's
I charge heavily for premarital. Because when I tell guys the price, mwambe you can't pay me. You know why? Maze si class ya kawaida.
Ni kweli.
Si class. Because I know guys, ati wache. Kanya nataka tu pesa. No, ni kufundisha maisha. Mimi nimeendea shule. Hata pia unaleka mchezo sana.
So umeendea shule. Umeinvest time.
Na nimekuwa shule. Mimi mwenyewe I'll be turning 20 years in my marriage. On 6th of December.
Congratulations, bro.
Miaka 20 bali. Thank you. So kuna vitu nikikwambia najua Maze. Niko kwa hiyo swimming pool. Niko deep end. I don't need a life jacket.
Ushajua kuogelea.
Na swim. So naweza kuambia a few things. Kubali ni
kuambia. But let me tell you, it's important that you charge. Because Ken as well, marriage is expensive.
It is.
And for people to be able to value this time that you have together with them, it has to cost them.
That's it, man.
Because you're going to save them from a lot of heartache.
Atina guys who say, hiyo PMC hakuna budget. Hiyo anajua hiyo ni ya ku. Sasa if you thought it was a joke, angalia sasa.
PMC wasijinga kama sisi tulienda kulala.
Nama sana.
I think it's only awake for the session for nini bana.
Kwa ile
intimacy.
Inaitwa selective hearing.
Zingine mwerete nikwambie. Even as I know. Zingine ilikuwa ni kwa sababu I remember used to do kubamba till midnight. So by the time I get home, it's 2:00 in the morning. Because lazima tungepita Tao, Sanford. Tumeenda kudishi chipo na kuku mzungu huko.
Ndio hiyo.
Alafu kukusama. Alafu by the time naingia home it's late. 6:00 umeamka kwa sababu niko Nairobi Chapel 7. Lazima.
Kwa hivyo
to get ready for the youth service.
It's called a conveyor. Yes.
So bro,
so ni conveyor belt. You're just ticking a box.
Bro, alafu the same Sunday in the afternoon saa 8 ndio PMC.
Yes.
Bro.
Niambie sasa hata you are psychologically.
I was not there.
You are spent.
But what I did appreciate was I had great sessions with friends.
Amen.
Great conversations.
Man.
And also with my wife that we were always, I mean, we talked about anything and everything.
Wow.
And
Amen.
we didn't lie to each other and we didn't hide. And I remember one time I lied to her, maze. And I was so guilty. Bro, nilimpigia simu. Nilimpigia simu hiyo siku kumwambia, baada hapa nilikuenjoy.
Scratch that. We need, you see, unaweza fanya hivyo because unajua ni mse, I need them for tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You see, it's called the law of reciprocity.
Yeah.
I want to challenge anyone in any relationship. Exercise the law of reciprocity. There's a give and take.
Yeah.
Usijiangalie tu.
Kweli.
Leo unanipatia, kesho utataka.
Yeah, man.
Why what are you giving?
And for our guests, man, thank you so much, Ken.
Amen.
This has been good, bana.
Thank you, man.
And
many ambush though.
Imekuwa sawa. Thank you. Umerespond haraka maze. I reached out to Ken yesterday at night.
Unaona najishtaki.
Asante.
Kama nilisema kitu mbaya mnisamehe.
Usitie shaka hapa. This is a safe space.
Sikuwa nimejitayarisha.
Ndio niko na hiyo ofisi pia.
Asante, man.
Yeah, and again, for the guys who are married, if you do want to come for the marriage garage, can we do it?
Yes, let's do it. I'm ready, bro. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, let's get it going, man.
So let them reach out to you.
Yeah.
Alafu tukishaona numbers.
Just sign up every chini.
Yes.
And then another one, wapenda now.
Yes,
for guys who are dating.
Niko ready.
Yeah.
Nitaita wase.
Hai buda.
Kijiji. Kuchapa hii kitu.
Tujenge, niko na kijana hapa hivi anapanga ndoa.
Yes.
So kwanza wacha kuja kuona.
Hapo sawa. Kwanza nitambook next week. Monday.
Guys, God bless, man, and thank you so much for listening and watching the podcast. DJ Mozi hanging out together with Ken Aringo.
The one and only.
The one and only.
Baba yao na CYT.
And PhD is not permanent head damage.
Yes, preserving human dignity.
That's it, man. God bless, guys.
Amen.